Got it. All right. So, good morning. And as we've just said to each other, we are in the month of February. It is the 3rd of February, although I got it wrong and thought it was the 4th. Today is Saturday, the 3rd of February, 2024. And somebody said to me the other day, isn't it amazing how slowly the days go, but how quickly the months fly past? And I'm actually stunned that we are in February already. But
Your
anyway,
days go slowly.
well, they're slower. No, they're pretty fast as
Yeah.
well.
Okay. Just checking.
Okay, so we've got a mixed bag today. And Meryl, you weren't at the convention. So the pictures I'm putting up are from the diary they gave us at the convention. And I'm just going to that I put up earlier onto the WhatsApp group. All right. And I said to Andre when we were talking about this morning, I will just run through what they gave us last year on those documents, which is this plan from the company. Now, one of the things I've heard Drew say is the plan has been given to us, but we must tweak it to suit ourselves. So this introduction to this diary is really gives a summary of everything that is needed for building the business. And I love the 7 business building fundamentals: present products and opportunity, finding and inviting prospects, presenting, how to follow up, how to handle objections, how to close a prospect, how to get a new distributor started effectively, and how to promote events and meetings. And that's really what we are doing every week here, and as we chat to each other on the journey. Just a reminder that the Launchpad videos are still easily available on YouTube. And if you want to have a reminder of what you should be doing, if you want to get the business up and running, they're the ones to look at. Then the 3 steps to director, which is what we covered briefly last week. Remember that we are working on the Tree NN as our starter pack story for people who want to do the business. The stats are showing that it's doing extremely well here in the Southern Hemisphere as a method for getting people into the business and started. And the first step is to get your customers, 6 of them, and get each of them to use a product, and each of those customers to join up and become a distributor to do their own 100 points. And if you multiply from my very weak start at arithmetic a million years ago, 7 people times 6. So in other words, if you've got 7 people all doing, you and 6 other people all doing 100 points, 6 sevens comes to 4,200, and that gives you a directorship. And I think that is the model I have got absolutely embedded in my brain at the moment, and that is worth 10,900 Rand minimum. So the first week we start off with this the nice thing that they're giving us in this diary is that they give us the first day of the month to start on. And Andre, the good news for you and me and Meryl is that we start on the 5th because month end was yesterday, finally finished off. So you have your sprint week. Yes, please, we would love the testimony, Meryl. So your first week is your sprint week. Okay, now what does that involve? So number 1 week, sprint week. The first thing is to set your targets and aim high. If you don't aim high, you won't even if you're halfway, it's better than not getting anywhere. You're asked to mention the number of people you intend to sponsor and what incentive you might be following for. Follow up. The first key activities for next week will be, this is a week of high energy and activity to get maximum momentum into your business at the start of the month. So follow up with leads and prospects. Use the first week, follow up, follow up. Remember, fortune is in your follow up. Follow up with your new distributors. Connect with them, help them set their own targets. Work your name list and set up presentations. And on that, without even trying to get myself organized on that, presentations are coming hot and fast in the new week. Here at Roxburgh Avenue, we've got one this afternoon. And fortunately, thanks be to all the powers above us, Drew will be here in Johannesburg in our house on Wednesday, and Andre, you will be here in our house on Friday. So lots to look forward to in the coming week. And then work your name list and set up presentations. And they don't all have to be in the first week. Your week is to plan your month. Get your month in planned with your diary into activity for the month. So new prospects, people who you've been planning to meet up with, you've been in touch with them, you keep saying you're going to have a coffee with them, keep on inviting. And then the fourth thing is follow up with inactive customers. Big shout out to all of us here. How many of us have got people we haven't spoken to for a long time? And inactive distributors. Reach out to customers and distributors who have not ordered in the last 30 to 90 days and help them back onto products. It astonishes me when I do this. People are just waiting to be given a nudge. And then the pro tip is, by the end of week 1, you should have done your own 100 personal PV. And then key activities for leaders: work with your business builders and help them to get off to a fast start in week 1 by engaging in the above activities. Okay, so I have taken a photo of that and shared it onto the WhatsApp group. And there's a lot just to think about in that over the weekend. And take your rest as well. Tomorrow, Sunday, for me, has become an absolute necessity. I know it's laid out in the scriptures that we should rest on a Sunday. And I mean, Andre, you had a foundation second to none from your childhood in that. And I'm finding if I do not rest on Sunday, my capacity to work during the week is almost zilch. So please do have a rest, but as part of your rest time, go through that planning with your diary for the week ahead. So without much more ado, Andre, I'm handing over to you. You're going to tell us something a little bit about Omega and a couple of thoughts to build on from your training from last week. Thank you.
Okay, thanks. Rob, can you just deal with a WhatsApp from Hermin, please? It's just come through. Yeah, the first thing I'd like to talk about is an interesting experience I had on Thursday. There is a man who's been a customer of mine for a long time. He was a BNI colleague, and he was using omega-3, Formula 4 Plus, CalMag, and he uses LDC and G1. And I was very chuffed about all this because his wife doggedly refuses to acknowledge that these products have any. Roger has been a very solid user for a long time. I then did notice that he had stopped using the Omega. And so I happened to bump into him on Thursday. And he said to me, I think they're going to bail out and live in England. And I said, you know, we can make a plan to get the products. And I'm suspecting that he wouldn't be bothered with that. But anyway, be that as it may. He said to me that he was no longer using our Omega because he had found another product, which as far as he could see on the internet was so similar to ours that it was indistinguishable, and that he would, and it cost less. and that, you know, sometimes he could even get 3 for the price of 2. Well, that rings bells. That's a Clicks product, or something you can get at Clicks or Dis-Chem or whatever. Anyway, he then went on to say that the head office of this company from which he was getting omega-3, he discovered was in the same business complex as the head office of Neolife. I don't know how he found that out, but he discovered that, and that he was so certain that they were the one and the same, that he wondered if it was the same product being repackaged in by a different company. So I said to So I said to him, well, the possibility of that happening is just about zero. It's totally beyond the philosophy of the company. It will never happen. But what is the name of the product? And I'll go and look at the product. The name, it doesn't really matter, but it was Revite, I think. And I went and looked up the omega for Revite, and it said, I mean, you can get 100, you can get, I don't know, 90 capsules of 1,000 mgs per capsule for 169 Rand. Well, you know, danger signs are there right from the start. So I looked at the ingredients, and it came from fish oil, which is, I suppose, a good start, because some things don't even do that. But it came from fish oil, and it had the DHA and EPA, which is the 2 that all the commercial products have. He said you could also get some with omega-6s. And I said, well, you should never supplement with 6. You get enough of, and then I looked at the purity, and it said that if impurities were found in the oil before encapsulation, they would remove the impurities, which means that it goes through a chemical purification process, which is one of the things that makes a huge difference to the quality of the product. And it is a huge difference in the raw material is tested for purity. And so even if the fish contains contaminants, it is not used as a source for our products. It's used for a source for inferior products, probably. They don't claim that it's salmon at all. It's just fish oil. And they have got none of the research to support. I mean, it is such an inferior product as to be, I don't know how he could even articulate what he said to me. So what I want to remind us is just how valuable our products are and how impeccable our products are. And if someone challenges you about the price of any of our products, you can know without a doubt that the reason ours costs more is because it packs a far more powerful punch. And it is very much more, it's safer for your health, it's more effective than the cheaper product. That just is a fact. So please, we've got to stop being frightened of people saying things like, yours is too expensive. I'm no longer frightened by that at all. One of the ways to tackle that, which I find very effective, and I suggest we get into our toolkit, is to say, oh, how interesting. What makes you say that? Well, the first thing you'll find out is that they don't even know what the price is, because they've heard this somewhere in their history, and they've just taken it on as a fact. They cannot substantiate their claims. And then with this incident with Roger, if you do have to take it, I'll be with you. If you do have to take it further, you can know with absolute certainty that if you look at the quality of the other, much cheaper, it will be inferior. And people will not be getting the benefit, and possibly even be getting negative effects. If you remember, we've all seen that test with the polystyrene cup. though that product must, without a doubt, have gone through a chemical detoxification process, and they didn't fully remove the chemicals involved, which were the chemicals that were chewing the polystyrene. You don't want to take that risk. Your products, they are of the best that you will ever find. And the company said, right, has always said, we prepare the very best product we and science know how to prepare, and the price falls where it must. We don't create the price. The price is determined by the quality of the ingredients and the work that goes into perfecting the product. And then obviously a profit is added, as it is for every other product. And when you see a product where you can get 3 for the price of 2, just imagine how low the value of that product is. Because when you're paying the price of 2 and you get 3, the company is not you asking profit. It's actually terrible to understand what's going on.
I just wanted you to
Monica.
repeat those words, please, Andre. Oh, how interesting. Then did you say
What
why?
makes you say that? What makes
Okay.
you say that? Or why do you say that? Or tell me more. You know, throw
that's
the
a pearl.
question back at them.
That's
Yes,
a
it
pearl
is.
that we must learn. So, oh, how interesting. What makes you say that?
And you
Okay.
can use exactly the same
I'm
thing.
collecting, Andre, I'm collecting little sayings like that. So the other one that I've collected is, brain's gone, too early in the morning. If I could, and you could
If
add
I
that
would,
in. If I
if
could,
I would, will you?
yes, yes, you know, that one.
Yes.
Yes, so they become part of our vocabulary.
It's part of your
And
vocabulary, and you can use that with the business as well. You know, if
yes,
someone says, oh, it's one of those scams, or it's a pyramid scheme, or it doesn't work, don't defend it. Just say, oh, that's very interesting. What makes you say that?
exactly. Lovely. I forgot to mention at the beginning that the reason why we said muscle building at the start of this recording was not to do with the protein shake for muscles, but we are working on building our business thinking muscles that will make the business work even more efficiently for us.
Yeah.
Fabulous, Andre, that's
And
excellent.
then just to
Excellent.
remind
Yes.
us that our omega-3 is a fantastic product. It really is. And anybody who uses it will benefit in all sorts of ways. You can be so strong about the value of that product. And you can, you know, if you can just say to people, you know, if there's one product you should be taking, and there is tons of science to back it, it should be an omega-3. We just are not getting it in our diets. Would you like to try a really good one? Something along those lines. Anyway, so that's a little bit about product. And then I want to actually go one step further with that. I've been listening to a woman who is a coach for network marketers. And long years ago, I was part of a process that she was offering. And then she had to give that up for personal reasons. And recently she said that she wanted to reopen the archives to the people who had previously been members. And so yesterday I got access to information again. And it's gold. And I'm going to post 2 documents on the WhatsApp that I picked up yesterday. And can we do a share screen, Rob?
You can see
The first, what?
carry on. Never mind, carry on.
The first one is called Magic Words That Bring You Business. And I won't read this, but she speaks about specifically for women. She said, if women don't see themselves as being of service, they are very reticent to share either the product or the business. And so you have to constantly remind yourself that you are of benefit to the people you're talking to. And I think we all know what I'm talking about. That hesitancy to engage with someone comes from I don't want to be pushy, I don't want to be salesy, I don't want to be this, I don't want to be that. And if you know without a doubt that you would be serving that person by sharing the information, then the ability to share it widely and freely grows. And so so what she suggested we do is that we think about 3 people that we know, either personally or because we've heard someone else's testimonial. We think of 3 people who have experienced positive results from using our products, and you write it down, okay? And you look at that repeatedly because it reminds you, oh, and in my case, I was thinking about this, there were 2 women, 2 young women, who said to me, different occasions, different conversations, you gave me my life back. And ProVitality was what they started taking. I mean, that is so enormous. And I need to remember that. I need to remind myself about that. So this is an exercise. She said, right down, here it is, and I'm going to post this so we can all do the exercise. And then you do the same thing. That was 3 product testimonies, basically, and then 3 business testimonies. Now, some of us don't have downline who've done great with the business, but boy, we know people who have. I mean, can you imagine the life that Rory and Nola actually live? It's amazing. And it all comes from the seed of a Neolife business 49 years ago, actually. And they just did the basics, and they still do the basics. There are lots and lots of stories of success. So write those down and remind yourself. And then this here is what I think is so important. We talk about checking in with our customers and team members on a regular basis. And she said one of the important aspects of that is that you get to hear over and over and over and over again positive impacts that people have experienced. And it builds your muscle of believing and knowing that what you are doing is being of ultimate service to other people. Now that ties in with what I spoke about last week when I was talking about that Mike, whatever, Lozier. And he said that we tend to put things down to coincidence that are in fact the law of attraction working. So if we've been thinking about someone and then they phone us, we say, oh, what a coincidence, I've been thinking about you. And he said, if you recall, we should stop saying that. We should say, oh, I've expected to be in touch with you because I have been thinking we should do it. You acknowledge that your thoughts precipitated the event. And it reminds you over and over and over again how important your thoughts are. And you've got to feed that muscle. So this is exactly the same thing, but directly associated with our business. So please, let's look at this. We all need to build that muscle because we all struggle at times, more often than we care to admit to, or in my case, in the way in which we connect with people. Yeah, Monica.
So this week I have been spending quite a lot of time just browsing through periodically in the resource library of our back office. And it's quite daunting because there's so much there, but every time I do it, I'm becoming more conscious of what's there. So I suggest that you
Monica,
spend, yes.
I'm leaving you for 2 minutes. I just have to go to a small room somewhere else. I'll see you.
Okay. So I suggest that we all keep looking at the back office. And then to tie in with what Andre has just said, there are probably a couple of dozen or more testimonies from successful distributors. And I keep meaning to open one or two every now and then and start listening to them. There a lot of them. So when you go onto the back office, look for the Ruby directors. You'll see that under videos, you'll see more and more and more of these. There's a lot of these. The company has put up the success story after success story after success story. And just to encourage us, I would also, while Andre's just popped off, ask you how many of you, and you don't have to answer, have looked at the little book of affirmations she gave us as a gift on the WhatsApp group in December. Meryl Hermine, if you haven't looked at it, go back and have a look. Hermine, have you seen it?
I haven't looked.
Okay. Please go and have a look at it. At first, it really confused me, but I'm also got that one open. I've had it printed. It came to about $300 to get it printed, which makes it easier to read. And in terms of that little book of affirmations, I'm linking it up with what you're saying, Andre, is that if we're looking at people, I'm saying go to the resource library, you'll find a dozen or more, maybe 3 dozen success stories there, which we could look at. You could write some of them down for yourselves of other success of distributors who resonate with you and you would like to use as your role models. And at the same time, in terms of the affirmations book, Andre, the question to ask is this: why am I not why am I, no, that you don't use not, no negatives.
Don't use not.
What,
No.
no negatives. Why am I a successful director? Why am I a success? So you may not be there yet, but ask yourself as if you were there. Why am I a successful director? And you're going to think to yourself, why are you asking yourself such stupid questions? Or that's what I do. But then I have to change my thinking. No, why am I a successful director? So it's to do with the subconscious mind and retraining, building that muscle into teaching your subconscious where you want to be. Okay, it gets complicated at that point, and I'm going to leave it there. Andre, thank you. That was all absolutely amazing. Can we just...
And there's one more thing I want to share, if I may.
Yes.
But Rob, do I have to go stop share and start again to find another document?
Yes.
Okay, I'm going to stop and then log in again for sharing.
And then at the end, Meryl, we'd love to hear your Aloe testimony. Andre, we've got 8 minutes.
Yeah, let Meryl go. I'm still
Meryl,
looking.
While Andre's sorting, tell us your story, please.
Sorry, I was just unmuting. Some time ago last year, excuse me, I had a child in my class who was having terrible stomach pain. I think Andre might remember the story. And it was like cramps and all sorts of things. Anyway, she ended up in hospital twice, and they couldn't really get to the bottom of it, but they reckoned it was like a bacterial thing in the stomach. Anyway, she came right. But in the interim, I advised them to take the Aloe Vera Plus. So she has bought 2 bottles now, and clearly it's working. So I think between the 2 bottles, she had a few weeks where the child didn't have it. And she said all that pain and anxiety and everything came back, and she was screaming her head off. And she's a bit of a drama queen, this child at best. So she doesn't take well to any discomfort. So her question, the mother's question to me this week was, can she take it indefinitely? She might have to be on this for the rest of her life. So she said she remembers me saying it's completely natural. Yes, she could take it for the rest of her life. But what else could one suggest, because we no longer have the acidophilus to heal that stomach? Any ideas?
I
Andre,
think the
do you want
kids
to
should
speak?
go onto both the kids' supplements. The formula, I mean, the Vita Squares has got TreNN in it, and TreNN is important for the healing.
And
Yeah.
I would, and Meryl, I would definitely add in
I mean,
the Neolife shake, because then they're getting the amino acids plus the fiber.
Yeah. I do remember her saying that she had a bowel movement much easier. I must go back and look at my texts
So
to say that.
so Meryl, so what you're saying is that when the child is on the aloe vera juice, there's an immediate improvement.
Yeah. She's no longer screaming.
Okay, so go with what Andre is saying, because there are amino acids in the aloe juice. So depending on how much they can afford, then get onto Vita Squares, Vita Guard, Omega, and if they're prepared to do the NutriShake as well.
And then if you have
Yeah,
a look
I
at,
think so. I'd probably recommend the Vita Squares, and let's start
yeah,
there.
build it. And maybe you could say to her, look, there is a way of getting wholesale price, particularly if it's for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
if
Rob,
you have a
you
look
wanted
at
to
what,
say
if
something?
you have a look what Monica was swinging, she was swinging some water and some lemon juice, but into that mix she put some of the fiber, and that also sorts out any stomach things as well.
Yeah, but for a 5-year-old, maybe not so much.
Yeah.
Who said
Yeah,
I had
mean,
stomach
it
things? I
seems
don't
to
have
me-
stomach things.
From what Meryl said, the aloe has solved the fundamental issue. So now it's a case of building the child up. I don't think you need to fiddle with the gut anymore, if you know what I mean. That seems to be resolved.
It's taking away the symptom. I don't know if it's
Yes.
curing the problem.
Well, it won't, but the child is probably undernourished. and as soon as we don't have the acidophilus, so you could suggest to the mom, is it a black kid?
Yeah. And I've got one acidophilus in my cupboard, which
Well,
I'm
don't give it because you can't sustain it. What
keeping it
you
for myself.
recommend that they make sure that they have some fermented stuff in their diet, like mass or whatever. However they can.
And
Get some
reduce the sugar.
fermented.
And reduce the sugar.
Yeah, always, yeah.
Yeah.
And Meryl, you've got a story there to write on that list. And it's just reminded me of one that I've had last year as well. Somebody completely stomach problems healed with aloe.
Okay.
Fabulous.
Okay.
Andre, you've got 3 minutes.
Okay, I can't seem to find the document I wanted to show you, but I will post a second document.
And maybe we can
it's
cover it
also
next week.
No, we must do it before next week.
Okay.
This is the same woman that presented the other document, and she is suggesting different ways in which one can talk about one's product in a positive way, and it's talking about the outcomes or the benefits, the results of using the product in very short sentences. And there are a whole lot of examples. Many of them are not related to health and wellness, but many are. And it's a prod for us to come up with little expressions relating to our products, and we can share those with each other. And then my suggestion is that every day on our status, we do one of these things. Because if you say, my product resolves gut issues, then people with gut issues might see that and say, hey, tell me more, that kind of thing. So it's a little flag that will attract the attention of people for whom it's relevant. And then
Brilliant.
doing statuses should become as easy as pie when you are accustomed to it. It takes a matter of seconds. And it's an activity, it's a daily activity.
Okay, so Andre, what Andre is suggesting for us, I think this is what you're suggesting, Andre, is that we look at putting onto our WhatsApp status or similar on Facebook, little things like that. My product resolves problem with gut issues. So could we all focus on collecting those kind of statements and sharing them with each other?
Yeah, we can
Um,
just, whenever we've got one, we can just share it on the WhatsApp
on the
group.
Yes.
And anybody who wants to tweak it or use it or whatever on their own status can go ahead.
Can do it. Excellent. Brilliant. I love
Okay.
it. Yeah, thank you. All right, we've got 1 and a bit minutes for any comments from anyone. Hermine?
Excuse me.
Yes, Meryl, I think we are allowed to make those claims.
Sorry, I don't know. I get confused. Sorry.
Okay. Andre, Meryl's concerned that can we make a claim like my product resolves problems?
Well,
product,
you know,
we
that
can put it
might
into
not
these
be
ways.
ideal, that
My
particular
product
one,
has
but
been
look at the
found.
example.
My product has
Look
been
at the
found.
examples.
Yes. Sorry, Andre?
Look at the examples on that sheet I will send you.
Okay.
My products help you have a beautiful, radiant skin. We can make that claim.
And
you know-
also what we can do is look at what other advertisers are doing. Okay. Because it is a marketing technique we're learning at the moment to build our muscles.
Yeah.
So listen,
And Meryl,
everybody,
you may be right that was a bit
too
over the
obvious.
top, but I thought of it in the instant just to try and relate it to what you'd said. So it could be honed.